What's good, narcissistic people of YouTube? So today it's literally raining fire in LA, so I decided to chill in the shade, have a cigarette, and talk to you guys about narcissism. I'm kind of narcissistic, I can admit that. That doesn't mean I was always narcissistic. I have narcissistic tendencies. I could fit like 80% into the category of what a narcissist is today. Now, at different points in my life, I fit in the category a lot more or a lot less. And it all depended on the point in time, my age, right? And I don't believe that narcissists are just like, they're just born narcissists, right? Because I've taken a lot of psych tests, and they're not very accurate. I'm gonna let you guys know. I took a psych test. A girlfriend of mine made me take a psych test, and I came out to be like 96% a sociopath. And no, I'm not a sociopath. I know. I think I would know if I was a sociopath. I'm definitely not. Now, the weird thing is that, like, narcissism, sociopath, psychopath, all these things are mixed up in the everyday people's jargon, right? Like, the people use these things interchangeably. You know, he's just a narcissist, he's just a sociopath, right? And it's like, you know what? I'm only a narcissist after the relationship. But during the relationship, I'm not a narcissist to you. Actually, I'm pretty kind. I'm pretty attentive. I'm pretty masculine. I wouldn't say I'm dominant, but I'm grounded and I'm firm in my beliefs and stuff. I treat you with respect and all these things. And as a man, I bring to the table a certain level of understanding, respect, knowledge, protection, comfort, right? As a man. Now, the weird thing is that usually this light is shed on men. When they talk about narcissism, they're talking about men. They're not talking about women, dude. Like, they're never talking about these women. But the reality is that as a man, I can only instigate a conversation with you. I can only spark the interest. I can make my presence known, or I can make my attention, my intentions known. But as a woman, you're the one that decides. You're the one that chooses if you want to spend time with me, right? And no one ever talks about this portion of it, that these women that date men that are narcissists, right? Because I've been called a narcissist many times, right? Usually, this is exactly what happens, man. It's always the insecure girl, the one that's lacking in some sort of fundamental development in regards to personality, her self-esteem, her traits, her capabilities. There's always a question mark. They're always lacking something. And I call them vampires. There's a reason why I call them vampires. Because what they'll do is they'll find a guy that has a specific trait that they desire having. Not the man, not who he is, not what he is, but a specific trait. So let's say if she is she's an easy pushover, she's gonna find a dude that to her appears like this dude isn't a pushover. He's overinflamed and shit, right? And she's gonna go and latch onto this person, and she's gonna mimic those traits. And once she has duplicated that trait and she now has it, and she's literally duplicating what this guy does, And the minute she feels she learned that trait, that relationship is over. It's over. She has nothing more to gain from him. Sucked him dry, and off to the next one for the next trait. And they're always victims because they're not confident people. They can't say, well, like, I had this part to play, he had that part to play. Normal people take some self responsibility, even when relationships end, right? It's two people fucking together. It's two people dancing. It's two people eating. Two people fucking, right? So it's usually never one person that just like, oh, it's over. But somehow these broads, every single guy they date, oh, they're narcissists. They're just using them. No, we're not using you. It just, I'm not a kid. I'm in my mid-30s, right? I already know exactly how the game is fucking played. I already know exactly what you're doing. And I already know exactly when the relationship is gonna fucking end. And it's okay. Because it's good until it isn't. And when it's not good, it is what it is. We move on, right? But meanwhile, like, women want to act like, even in regards to sex, like, oh, they're giving you pussy and shit. No, you're also giving them dick. Let's not get it twisted, okay? When we go to eat, you're not feeding me. We're eating together. You understand what I'm saying? We're sharing each other's time and company. So once these women get these traits, and there's so many traits, man, like, first they'll date someone to boost their confidence, and then once they get some confidence, they'll talk to somebody to boost their self-protection skills, right? To protect themselves physically, emotionally, and mentally. And then they'll get that trait. And then they'll get some knowledge of how the world works. And then from another man, they'll get morality. They'll learn some morals. And then from another guy, they'll get another trait. And from another guy, another trait. But they're like vampires, just latching on from one man to another, to another, to another. And you're just another man on that list, that narcissist list, where it's like, if you look back, it's just a train wreck of men. When in reality, any one of those men could have been like a long-term relationship, but they weren't. Why weren't they? Were all these men really that fucked up? Like, are all these men narcissistic, or are you just feeding off certain people, right? So, like I said, I fall into the narcissism category, and if you're a confident masculine man, you automatically fall under that fucking category. No matter what anybody says, whatever minor differences there is of separating real confidence and real masculinity from toxic masculinity and from narcissism, right? So that being said, it's like, it's a lose-lose for guys. You're just a fucking narcissist when things end, but when things are happening, you're just a dude. You know what I'm saying? So how is it that you're a narcissist when everything is done? So it's a really weird fucking place to be as a guy. It's like a lose-lose fucking situation, man. But that doesn't mean that you're a narcissist. Don't let anyone fucking tell you otherwise, dude. Unless you fucking are. When you're a narcissist, you know you're a narcissist, dude. You know when you're doing narcissistic shit, dude. It's like depression. If you're in depression, you know you're in depression. If you're having panic attacks, you know you're having panic attacks. If you're schizophrenic, you know you're schizo. You know what I'm saying? Like, people know. If you're a sociopath, you definitely know you're a sociopath. Come on, bro. There's no way. So to categorize all these men as like toxic and narcissistic, right? And I was watching Jordan Peterson, and he keeps bringing up Beauty and the Beast, for example, okay? So, in Jordan Peterson's view, he keeps looking at Gaston as this narcissist. Like he has this prowess that is really just inflamed, and there isn't much behind it, and he can't understand why Belle isn't falling for him when all these other women are, right? And Dr. Peterson talks about the beast, that he's tameable, and because he's tameable, it makes the perfect story, because you want a man that's masculine, you want a man that's able to protect you, right? And being masculine and a protector and being a man, it's like you want capability, right? So he's capable of having great compassion, or at the same time having great threat to other people. So in regards to you, he has to be compassionate, but in regards to the world, he can be a danger and a threat, right? And in Dr. Peterson's mind, that's the difference between the beast and Gaston. But where he's failing to look at the situation is that the story of Beauty and the Beast is a psychological textbook, perfect definition of what a abusive relationship looks like. The story of Beauty and the Beast. Because the first thing he does is he gets Beauty's dad and locks him up, takes him away from Beauty. She is forced to go over there to save her dad. In exchange, Beast says, well, you can come in, but fucking you're not going out, and you're not seeing your family, you're not calling your friends, you don't have any more friends, you don't have any more family, you don't have any of this. And he surrounds her with his people, right? He puts a buffer zone where these other people are gonna be the positive side of the beast, because the beast only has negative sides. And in the process, you have the beast's family members telling Beauty, no, he's fine, just give him time. I know he's abusive, I know he yells and screams and breaks things, and he frightens you, and he's using fear to keep you, and all these things, right? And at the end, she develops I forgot the term, when victims have sympathy for their aggressors, right? And she develops the sympathy for the beast, and she starts falling in love with this beast, because he's a beast at the end of the day, and he has characteristics that are very unique. He really is a threat. He's not inflamed. He's not maybe a threat, possibly a threat. No, the beast really is a threat. And the interesting part of the Beauty and the Beast is, when they come to kill the beast and all that, and the beast goes ham on everyone and fucks them up, and then what does he end up becoming? He ends up becoming a prince. Why is that important? Because he has real power. So not only was he physically this monster that could just devour everyone and everything in sight, but he was also a prince. He also had the juice to go along with it. That's why he had the castle. That's why he had all these things, right? So this was, you can describe this as the epitome of like toxic masculinity. When someone really has so much power over you that it's debilitating. There's no way out of it. And the irony is that Beauty fell in love with it. And if she fell in love with the beast, being the conservative she was, Gaston would have been a breeze. And if she didn't want to date Gaston, she could have dated any of the stooges that were following Gaston. She could have made any of that work easily. You get what I'm saying? She made the most extreme situation work and fell in love with it. So she could have easily made all the other stuff work. So this thing about narcissism. So was Beast a narcissist? Yeah, most definitely was. Most definitely was. You know, I mean, was Gaston a narcissist? Possibly. Possibly not. He had reasons for like being flamboyant, right? Everyone else recognized it, but Beauty wasn't fazed by it because she wanted more substance. She wanted the prince, where Gaston just had all this flamboyant prowess. He had the strength, he had the looks, he had the capability. He could have been dangerous, right? He was dangerous. So he's not that different from the beast. The only difference is the beast was a wild fucking animal. He was the real fucking threat. He was the you stepped on my tail, so you're gonna die. Where Gaston was just the I'll hit you with a coffee mug. Yeah, or whatever. You know, so I mean, is this about narcissism? I mean, Beauty and the Beast is brought up a lot in psychology in regards to sociopaths, narcissists, abusive relationships. If you look at how abusive relationships in the real world take place, and you attach the Beauty and the Beast story, you're gonna see a 100% correlation of Beast's actions towards Beauty. And yeah, like it's a 100% correlation. Like it's a perfect textbook example of what an abusive relationship looks like. It's fucking crazy. So I respect Jordan Peterson very much. I do agree with what he's saying, and because this is we're taking a cartoon as an example, we can dissect it in various ways. The unique thing about psychology is that for every theory, every thought, every experiment, there's a counter theory, a counter thought, a counter experiment that's just as valid. That's why psychology is a really weird subject, because there's so many viewpoints and none of them are necessarily wrong. That doesn't mean all of them are right, but none of them are necessarily wrong. They all bring something to the table. So I just wanted to kind of like look at the Beauty and the Beast situation from a different perspective than Jordan Peterson's perspective. Not that I disagree with this, I'm just saying that there's also another perspective that Beauty and the Beast is a textbook example of a abusive relationship that women, so many women are in. Yeah, I'll end it at that. You guys have a nice day. Peace.